You're watching The Ugly Inside? Subscribe below.
Welcome back to TUI Transfer Talk, and we've had some breaking news this afternoon and this evening. Saints have made a double signing. Firstly, this afternoon, it was confirmed that Saints have signed Palace goalkeeper Alex McCarthy, a news story that we actually reported on a couple of days ago. But more importantly, at the 11th hour on a Monday night, Southampton have confirmed the signing of let's get this right, Jeremy Pied, French right winger, right back. Joining me once again is Nick. First of all, Nick, what's your instant reaction to it, mate?
Well, it's good to see a couple of players come in. Obviously, neither of these are big name or big money signings. McCarthy's come in at probably around about the 2 to 3 million mark. And how is it pronounced? Pied?
Pied.
Pied. Pied. And Pied has come in on a free transfer, being out of contract at Nice. But it's this sort of having the right quality backup, and both players are very much backup as this comes, is as crucial as having big name signings, because what got us into sixth place last season was the size of the squad, and we've got to keep that size of the squad and quality up. Pied is a experienced player in France. He's 27 years old. He can play at right back, and I think he can play in midfield as a more attacking right back as well, wing back or whatever. So, he's a good signing, good solid signing. As supporters, we want to see a little bit more. We're still probably 20, 30 million pound in the transfer kitty from, proceeds of sales out. We want to see a little bit more in, and something to make us go, wow. But, it's not just about the wow factor. It's also about getting in players who can, fit in and do a job and keep the momentum going when you've got injuries and suspensions.
It's very much another shrewd signing for the Saints. It's the third time that Pied is linking up with Claude Puel in his career. This is very much the first of Claude Puel transfer this summer.
Definitely, and I mean, what you need as well is what Claude Puel needs here is any manager needs a man in the dressing room. Yeah, and if you look at previous Saints managers going back over years, they'd always get in someone who's pretty much their man, who's been signed for them before at another club, because he's a link in the dressing room. Players can be, popular, but a manager's not so. But you've got to have an advocate of the players who will say to his teammates, yeah, actually, he's not bad. He knows what he's talking about. And you would assume that Pied will do that for Puel.
Like it.
Otherwise, yeah, correct.
It's very much a signing that what I'm initially reading into is very much a signing for the extra competitions that we had this season. Obviously, we've got 4 competitions this season, but it's mainly the Europa League that I'm looking into that is going to act as cover for perhaps some of the first teamers. If you were a coach, would he be your first choice at right wing or right wing back?
Well, yeah, you've got to look at it and say that, that's what it's about. We've got to play 6 Europa League games between now and Christmas, with possibly more in the new year, hopefully. We've also got League Cup competitions, and we've got the FA Cup. So you need a squad. You've got to give players a game to keep them sharp, and you've got to have competition for places. So for Pied coming in, you can't see him initially, at least, providing, being first choice ahead of Cedric Soares or Suarez. But he's there, and he can provide that competition, keeps players on their toes, knowing that there's someone behind them with a little bit of experience and can play at the level you need.
It certainly hangs a question mark over the future of perhaps Cuco Martina at the club. He was right back for very much the second half of the season last term, but that's obviously down to Koeman's selection. But it also, Pied coming in is also offering a bit of utility to play right wing and right wing back.
Yeah, I mean, there was clearly an issue. I mean, one thing that's become clear over the summer, that if Ronald Koeman had stayed, we'd have undoubtedly lost Suarez and Dusan Tadic. And, hopefully that will change now but we've got a new man in. Certainly Dusan Tadic, who's obviously played under Puel now and trained under him, seems, to be rejuvenated by that. And we hope Suarez. I mean, it was strange. I mean, Cuco Martina, I didn't expect him to play much after Christmas, and there was something went on which had nothing to do with Suarez's talent or form at Southampton Football Club between him and the management, because I don't know why he wasn't playing. Cuco Martina was okay at the end of the season, but he was a little bit of a liability at times, as was shown when we went 2-0 down against Liverpool with him charging up the field. He wasn't the class player that Classy is. I hopefully Pied is.
We'll get it right one day.
We'll get it right. Pied's,
Well, there we have it, guys. That wraps it up from the late night TUI transfer talk. Let us know in the comments below what you think of the Jeremy Pied. I hope we got that right. But let us know what you think of the transfer in below. Is he going to be your first choice at right back or right wing? Like, share and subscribe for more.